So array is a derived data type, and the definition of array is it is a collection of similar data items stored in consecutive memory location. Now these 2 points are very important one. First important point is that it contains the data items having the similar data types. And again, what is the storage? It is stored into the consecutive memory location. It means that if you are creating the array, all the data or the data items in the array contains the same data type. If you declare the array of integer, all data should be integer. If you declare the array of character, all should be character. Okay, but how it is get stored? It is stored into the consecutive memory location. Now what the consecutive memory location means? After the first data, second data will be stored. After the second data, third data will be stored. It is very similar like your railway. Okay, so you start with your engine, then your first bogie, second bogie, third bogie, and the first bogie is connected to second, second is connected to third, third is connected to fourth, like that. But it is stored in your consecutive memory location. It is consecutive and never it get changes. So when the first data memory get completes, the second data gets started. Second data memory complete, third data gets started. So it is stored, it is kept one after the another, consecutive location. Got it? Now how the array element is you can access that, though these array elements are stored in your consecutive memory location, we can access the array element, we can access the array elements using the its index, using the index. Okay, using the index. So it means that if your array is having the 10 data item inside it, so there are total 10 indexes are assigned to that array. 10 indexes are assigned. And what is the starting index? The starting index is always starting index is always 0. Starting index is always 0, and end index is whatever the size, that -1. Whatever the size of your array, that -1. If your array contains the 10 items, size is 10. So it means that the starting index is 0 and the end index is the 9. Okay, so we'll first see how to create the array. Okay, so to create the array, syntax is very simple. To create the array, we first need to define its data type. Suppose the data type is integer. So first I am giving here the generic manner. Data type we have to give here. Then after that, name of array you have to give. What is the name of array? Okay. And then after that, that square bracket is important here. The square bracket represent it is an array. If you are not giving square bracket, it is a simple variable. It is integer I. It's just like your integer I. It is only a single variable. But if you want to create a multiple variables, then in front of that name of the array, you should put the square bracket, and in the square bracket, you should give here how many data items this array contains, or what is the size of the array you should put here. So what is the size? So this is my syntax to declare the array. So it is a array declaration. It is a array declaration. Okay, so we are trying to write down one program, but before starting the program, we'll discuss about what is the use of array and why we are using this array. Because most of the problem that we have solved earlier, we are not used in any of our program. Actually, we have not used the array, but we are able to start the program. We are able to solve that program. So what is the necessity of using the array? Okay, suppose if there is a data, if you have the very large data, just take an example of your classroom. Okay, your third year. Okay, your third year. Suppose in your third year, total 60 students are there. Total 60 students, and suppose your class teacher wants to store wants to store the class test marks. Want to store the class test marks of all students in your computer. So how they are going to store? So if you are using C language, then how you are going to store? Very first one is you declare the 60. You need to declare the 60 variables here, because to store the marks of one student, test mark of one student, you require one integer variable. So what you are doing? So you require about test underscore one. So this is your first variable. Then test underscore 2. So how many variables you need? So you are creating these variables, total test underscore 60. So total 60 variables you need to create here. Now again, to track these 60 variables, again you require you require to remember all the names of that variable. Suppose I want to, suppose the user has entered that I want the test marks of student having the roll number 59. Okay, so can you get it directly, dynamically? Can you get the directly? Suppose user has entered what is the state marks, test marks of 59. He has entered 59. So can you able to get the marks of uh, roll number 59 by using this technique? We can't, because here these are only the name, these are only the name here, and using the name actually we can't do searching. Why we can't do searching here? Because this test 1 is stored in a random memory location, test 2 is stored in another random memory location. It is not stored in your consecutive memory location, so we can't do the linear search. If you want to do a linear search there, then this should be stored in one after the other. Okay, this should be stored in one after the other. So we should need to compare the test 1, we need to compare the test 2, test 3, test 4, like that. And again, tracking of these variables are again very difficult here. If it is 60, then you can able to implement. But suppose if in case of, suppose if there are the if you want to store the mobile numbers of the whole colleges, mobile number of whole colleges, then college student, then how many suppose variables you need? You require the, so 1000 variable, you require to declare the 1000 variable, and to track that 1000 variable again is very difficult one. So instead of that, can I declare the only one variable? Can I declare one variable which can store, which can able to store the multiple integer or multiple variable inside it? It is possible by using the array only. So we declare one test variable, type of test is int, and now what the test, what is the size of that test, how many integer it can take? Integer it can take as a 60 here. So it means that here there is a memory location, we have created which contains the 60 integer inside it, which contains total 60 integers, and the common name is given as a test only. Okay, the common name given to that memory is called as a test only. Just like the common name given to the one colony. Suppose you have one colony. So in our colony, actually in my colony, the colony name is the Gulmohar colony. Okay, my colony name is Gulmohar colony. Suppose if I want to give my address there, what the I'm mentioning my colony, Gulmohar colony. If I'm mentioning the Gulmohar colony, it means that I want to access this particular area. So your search becomes reduced there. So if I'm giving Gulmohar colony, then it will not going to search in a whole Nasik. It will only search in your Gulmohar colony. So here also I'm giving you the area, the name of the area. The name of area is, common name is the Gulmohar colony. And what is this 60? The 60 is the how many houses are there in the colony. Total 60 houses is present in suppose that colony, and every colony is having the number associate, just like row number one, house number one, house number two, house number three, house number four, like that. Here also every memory location having the size of 4 byte. Why 4 byte? Because the every memory having the size of integer only. The size of integer 4 byte. So total 60 multiplied by the 4. So that is 240 locations are the 240 bytes of the memory get allocated, but it is accessed by using the block only. One block is of 4 byte only. So how to access the first block? To access the first block, there is a number is given. What is the number of the first block? It is 0. To access the last block, the number is given, and that is the 59. So to access the first block, you can access by using the test of 0. If you are accessing test of 0, you are accessing first block. If you are using test of 1, you are accessing the second block. Test of 2, accessing third block, like that. Getting? So by using this number, actually now it becomes very easier to traverse through this memory. You can traverse through the memory. You can visit first, you can visit second, third, fourth, fifth, like that. Okay. So we can give whatever the number. Suppose here in this case, actually I want the test marks of 59, roll number 59. So how I'm getting the roll number 59 is stored at the memory location or memory index 58. Okay. So I'm giving test of 58. Test of 58 will give the test marks of 59, roll number 59. Getting? So always remember that here, what is the storage. So if I'm drawing here that memory, so this is my array, and these are that memory blocks. All block having the same size. All blocks having the same size. Okay, so these are the multiple blocks. And what is the index of first one? 0. Index of second, 1. Index of third, second. Index of fourth, 3. Then 4. And if you declare this as a integer test of 60, if you declare this, then it start with the 0. And what is the index of last? It is 59. Last is 59. Getting? So if I want to store the marks of first student, if I want to store the marks of first student, marks of first student is stored at the index 0. So how to get it? So just use the memory location, because here the common name given to this memory location is test. The whole memory can be accessed by using a single name, that is test. But if I want to access the first block, first house I want to access, so I'm accessing Gulmohar colony, house number 0, Gulmohar colony, house number 1, like that. The whole block name is test and the house number is 0, or the block number is 0. So if I want to store here, suppose the first student is getting the marks in the test, that is suppose 35. So what I need to do there, test of 0 equal to 35. When I do this, then what happen here? At the test of 0, the 35 will get stored here. If I'm using here test of 3 is equal to 45, then test of 3 equal to 45 means at the third index, the 45 will get stored here. So you can access the any random memory here by using the index. Okay, you use the index and you can access any memory, but the only valid indexes are start with the 0, ends up to the 59. Yes, getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll move towards the program again and we'll see how actually it get created. Suppose I want to store the marks of 5 students. Okay, so I'm creating one array of the size 5, type is integer. So 5 integers I can create here, store. Okay, so I want to store the first student marks. So marks of 0 is equal to 10. Marks of 1 is equal to 20. So marks of 2 is equal to 30. Marks of 3 is equal to 40. And the last is marks of 4 is equal to 50. Okay, so these are the marks I have stored. Now this is the storage. Now if I want to access it back, then you can access it. Like marks of 0 you can access by using the like your simple integer. So you can access the simple integer %d, because you are not printing the whole array here, you are printing a single integer. So what is single integer? I want to access the first marks here, first mark. So how to access the first mark? Marks of 0. So you are doing here marks of 0. Okay, I want to print the marks of all subjects. So I'm doing a marks of 1, marks of 2, marks of 3, marks of 4. Here also marks of 1, marks of 2, marks of 3, and marks of 4. Getting? And if I'm running this program, then you will get your answer as a marks of 0 is 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Getting? So in this program, actually, we have learned that how that array element is accessed individually. If you want to access it individually, you can access by using the name of the array and the index of that array. Name of the array plus index of the array. Getting? And what is the starting index? 0, and the last index is size minus 1, that is 4. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now can you see here, these are the repeated statement. 5 printf is repeated. So can I use here the statement like this? Can I make it here? Integer I start with 0. Okay, so I start with 0. What is the last value of I? It is 4. I plus plus. And what I'm doing here, I'm not repeating this statement, but instead of repeating this statement, here I'm using, instead of 0, I want to print I. So %d, %d, I want to print here I, and it is marks of I. Now can I do this? Now if you iterate this program, then you can see here, when I is equal to 0, it will print marks of 0 equal to marks of 0, it get printed. But what is this %d? It is marks of I. What is marks of I? I 0, so marks of 0, it will print marks of 0. Okay, so whatever the marks of 0 get stored here, it is get replaced here, and you will get 10 here. Then after that, I is incremented, I value becomes 1, condition is true. Next time marks of 1 equal to 20 will be printed. Okay, so if I'm running the program, we'll get the same output. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the previous method is very useful if there are only 5 variables are there. But suppose instead of 5 variables, suppose 50 variables are there, then I need to print there 50 printf statement. But instead of 50 printf statement, if I'm replacing this 0 to 49, then that is perfectly valid. Okay, it's perfectly valid. You can see here, it's perfectly valid. Some variables are the garbage one because we have not initialized. Only the 5 variables we have initialized. The remaining variables we have not initialized. So it is a garbage one. Okay, remaining is garbage. Yes,
Sir, there is
getting.
no shortcut for initializing, sir. Like 50 also we should initialize, or there is a shortcut.
Yeah, suppose if there is a 5 I want to initialize at the time of declaration only. So you can declare with this value.
Okay.
You can directly declare at the time of declaration. You can directly store that value at the time of declaration.
So we can use for declaration also we can use for loop and scanf.
Declaration, we can do this. The second time is, suppose I want the user input. Okay, I want user input. So you can use the same method. Integer I is equal to 0, I is less than or equal to 4, I plus plus, and then you are using scanf %d and then address of marks of I. You can do this.
It can be the same variable, no, sir? Like both the sides I for scanning and printing.
Yes. Yes.
Can it be same variable? Like using I for scanner, and then for printf also we're using I. So
no problem. Actually, this I is a local variable of for loop.
okay.
This I created as a local variable. Instead of that, you can put here I. Now, no need to declare as a locally.
Okay, sir.
But actually, I need to.
Sir,
Yes.
there marks of n we can give, and for I is equal to n, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus, like that also we can give.
Pardon? If I equal to
marks of n, then for I is equal to n, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus.
Where? Here, marks of n. No, in C language, actually, you should give the constant number here. While declaration of your any array, the C language require the size directly.
Okay, sir.
So at that, because it is a compile time declaration. Compile time declaration. In a compile time declaration, what is the size of array you should know. If it is 5, then the size of array is 5 multiplied by the 4, 20 bytes. If you are giving n, then what is the size of n? I don't know. So that's why you must declare the I first as a global. Like it says, constant integer n is equal to suppose 5. So you should declare the constant first, then it is correct.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Now in this program, actually we have taken the 5 marks and we have printed the 5 marks here. Okay, and we know that here how actually that array get created in your memory location, is stored in your consecutive location, and how the array index, how the array elements can be accessed by using its indexes. By using index, we can access the each and every array elements. Okay, now we'll do one program here. Suppose there are some numbers are present. Suppose this is my data. That data contains that size of data is suppose 10, and data contains some numbers. Okay, so randomly I'm initializing it. Randomly I'm initializing it. Is it 10? 1, 2, suppose 25, 24, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 12. Okay, so this is my data. Suppose that this is taken from the user. This data is taken from user, and I don't know what is that data, and I want to search here. I want to search that does this data is having the 23 inside it or not.
Yes, sir.
I want to search 23 is present inside the data or not. Okay, so this is called as searching of the data, searching of data. So how to search? So to search it, the very common method is use the linear search. So linear search means start with the index 0, end with the last index, that is 9, and every time index is incremented. Okay, now we'll compare that key. We'll compare the key with the first data. Now how to get the first data? Tell me. I want to compare with the 13. How to get first data?
Data of 0.
Data of 0. Okay. Second time I want to compare with second data. Third time I want to compare with third data, like that. So instead of giving the constant number, I want to give here I. Okay, I have to give here I. So this data of I means every time I get incremented from 0 to 9. So you are get traverse. Okay. So you start with key equal to data of 0. Yeah, is it correct? Key equal to data of 0. Is it correct? No, data is not matched because 23 and 13 not match. But it is not matched, then what need to do? We have to go to the next index. So I plus plus. Okay. So this is not executed, but this is executes only when you match the index. You match the index. Okay. Suppose 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I is equal to 5, then you are doing key equal to data of 5. So 23 equal to data of 5, that is 23. 23 equal to 23, your key matches. If key matches, then what to do?
Print.
You just have to print here. Okay, data found at index percentage d / n comma I. And then my data is founded, so that's why I need to execute the next iteration. Okay, because data is already found here. If data is found, then I don't want to compare with the remaining one. Okay, if this is the unique data. Okay, if it is unique data is available, then I'm doing break. If some multiple data, repeated data is available, then no need to give the break there. Okay, so consider that these are all of the unique data available. So break now here. Now I want to also tell that if the data is not found, then suppose what is the value of I first 0? You compare with the 23, not match. Suppose you compare with the 26. You compare with 26. 13, 26 not match. 24, 26 not match. 95 not match. 6 not match. 7 not match. 73 not match. So all things are not match. I at the 19, at the 90, what is the value of I? 9. So data of I 90 and key is 26 not match. I get incremented. When I incremented, I becomes 10. Okay, I becomes 10. But when the I becomes 10, it means that your data is not found in your key is not found in your data. If the key is not found in your data, then only the I goes to the 10 value. If your data is found middle or anywhere in your data, I is always less than or equal to 9. So I can compare the I here. If I equal to 10, if I equal to 10, then I can print here data not
found.
Okay, so if I'm running this program, your output is data not found. Okay, so data not found. Why? Because 26. And if I'm doing 23, then data found at index 5. Getting?
So that break statement should compulsory be there?
Yeah, in our case, actually it is compulsory. In our case, is compulsory because in our data actually all are unique values. The data is never repeated there. If it is not repeated, giving the break is compulsory. Okay, so if you are not giving the break, then see what is happened. It will print data found also, and it will print data not found also. See, data found at index 9 and again data not found.
So we can just give if key is equal to data I, data found, else data not found. If we give like that,
yeah, we can give here, but see here, if I'm giving this one,
comment.
okay, then If suppose take the example, if the data is not present, so 20, suppose 94, okay, data is not present, okay, so how many times data not found will be printed? See,
Okay.
how many times? 10 times it will printed, 10 times it will printed. So I want only single print, so this data not found should not be in your else part, okay. Or instead of that, if suppose repeated data is there, suppose 95 comes 2 times, and if you want to use, if you don't want to use break, then you can use the other method, flag. Suppose flag variable is there, generally it is 0, by default it is 0, and when you get the data, your flag variable becomes 1. Okay, when you get the data, your flag variable becomes 1, and after that you can check here flag only. If you get the data, flag variable is 1, but if you are not getting the data, flag variable remains 0. If the flag variable remains 0, then data not found. Data not found only single time. Okay, but if suppose 54, I want to find 54, data found at index 8. Okay, so in case of repeated data, you can use the variable to indicate that I have found the data. If I have found the data, that variable is indicate that it is go inside into that if statement. If flag becomes 1, it means that data had found.
Okay, so non-repeated data, if we use flag, then so?
Non-repeated data, instead of using, if there is non-repeated data, we can use flag.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it is also works. Okay. So you can this example for linear search. This is the program for linear search.
Sir, if data is user input, then how will we know if data is repeated or not?
So then you have to use this technique only. If you don't
Flag.
know data is repeated or non-repeated, then use flag. Yes.
Sir, how to take user input, like for giving for statement and then scanf?
So if you want to take the user input for this same program, then for I equal to start with, it's now the loop always require, and then scanf %d, and then address of, tell me, data of I. Because your scanf require the address of the variable. First variable is data of 0, so address of data of 0, like that. Okay, and before this for loop, I can put one printf statement. Enter the data items. Enter the 10 data items. Okay, so if I'm running this program, okay, enter the 10 data items, so 24, any data items, but 10 data is required. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one more required, 67. Okay, data. Okay, so what is the key value here? It is 54, so 54 not found. Okay, we can also take the key as a user input. Enter the key or enter the number to be search. Enter the number to be search, and then that is now single integer I want to take. So scanf %d address of key. Okay. So what is the input? User input, data, 10 data, and the key. Okay, so 10 data, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 11. Okay, so it is 11 input. So first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So
given key is 54, so it's printing twice.
yes, actually key, address of key. Oh. Actually I have not compiled it. Okay, that's why there is a problem. 10 data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Okay, enter the number to be searched. So what is the number to be searched? 65. I want to search 65. 65 present. So data found at index 5 and data found at index 8. So 2 times the data is repeated there. And the non-search 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now data to be searched is suppose 100. Okay, data not found. Okay, so both cases we have to try or not found.
So the same program works for characters also, no, sir?
Yes, same program works for character also. Just
But for
E
characters,
should be percentage C. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Percentage.
The flag is equal to 0 should be given out of the loop, sir.
Here, na, the initial value of flag should be 0. If you are not giving 0, then what is the initial value?
No, sir, not that.
Which one?
At last, sir.
Last. In the
Initial are given.
Comparison.
Yeah, here it should be out of the loop only, sir.
Out of the loop, because we have to compare the flag after the comparison of all the data. Do all the comparison of all the data, and then after that check the flag. So 100 data is there, do comparison of 100 comparison, and then after check that how you get the flag. If flag is 0, data not found. If flag is 1, then data found. Simple. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yeah,
if
sir.
flag is 1, it will not come to that if part, sir.
If flag is 1, then this condition is false.
Oh, okay.
So data not found will not be printed. Okay. So again, you can see, or in case of unique data, you can implement. Actually, you can again track of the index. If there are unique data is there, suppose there is an index track, index, and you can put here, if I found the data, then the index is equal to I, and here you are printing else, but that data should be unique. Huh? In case of unique data, it only works. Date found at index %d /n, comma index. Okay, so when you found the data, whatever the I value get assigned to index, and you can get here data found at the index, and that index value will be printed there. Yes.
Sir.
Okay.
So the same thing works for characters. Like if you put %C, if it is user input, like you give number space. So like that, if it's for characters, it'll be character space. So a space also is taken as a character, right?
It is a problem with the scanf. If you are using scanf, then that space is also count. Space is also scan. So instead of if you want to scan the character, then generally the get ch, this is the function that we use, get ch. So data of 0 is equal to get ch. or simply get CHE. Okay, so in a for loop we use this one, data of I equal to get CHE. So get CH is the function get character from the user. So here all the your what is it's called is the input buffer. Input buffer is also cleared in your get CH.
So here, if we use get, space won't be counted.
Pardon?
If we use get, space won't be taken into consideration.
Yeah, space is not considered in get CH.
Okay.
That I will cover in that string part.
Okay, sir.
Okay, any other doubts? Very small doubts actually you can ask. Yes, getting.
So like so here all the variables are local, no sir?
Yes, all variables are local variables.
So suppose we give the int data of 10 and we enter values, like we assign values only for the first 5 or first 6. And if that is a global variable, then
if data is a global variable,
yeah, then the rest, the
initialize with 0.
The rest will be 0. Okay.
Yeah, it is a global. It is default initial value is 0. If it is global, default initial value is 0. If it is local, default initial value is garbage value.
So
So
sir,
here-
if we give data of 10 and if we give only 6 values, rest 4 values will be garbage.
Yeah, rest 6 value will be garbage. If you are only giving 6 here, the rest value will be garbage here.
Okay.
Okay, but for same purpose actually we can put this method to initialize the all variables with the 0. It is known as a partial initialization of your array. In case of partial initialization, the remaining data is initialized with the 0. So here only one data I am assigning 0. So data 0 becomes 0. But what about data 1, data 2, data 3? So it automatically is uninitialized variables is initialized with the 0. In case of I am initialized with the only 3. So data 0 is 12, data 1 is 34, data 2 is 54, but the from data 3 onwards it is 0. Getting? But it is only case at the time of declaration if you are giving the value. At the time of declaration, if you assign the value, then the uninitialized value is assigned with the 0 value. Getting?
Always, sir.
Always. You can always. Control V, yes. Yeah. Okay, so now your output is your output is 1 2 3 4 5 12 34. Actually I need to put here space or simply or /t. Control B. So you can see here only first 3 is we have initialized 12 34 54, but what is the remaining initialize?
0.
Remaining is initialized with the 0. Okay, but suppose if you are not initialized at the time of declaration, but afterwards if you are initialized, then what happens? Data of 0 is equal to suppose 23, data of 1 is equal to 34. Okay, then what happened with the remaining?
Garbage.
Yeah, so very first one is 23, second one is 34, but the remaining is garbage. Okay, so 0 is also garbage. These are also garbage. These are also garbage. These are also garbage. When you rerun the program, you will get a different values. Okay. Now again, I told you that it is stored in a consecutive memory location. We can see What is the consecutive? Slash t. Okay, so to print or to actually check that is it consecutive or not, what we need to do, we need to print here address. Okay, so we'll put the address here, address of data of 0, we'll put the address of data of 2, address of data of 3, like that. Okay, so first see what is the address first, just only see the last 3 digit. Okay, 568. 568 is the starting address of your array. So data of 0, data of 0 address is 568. 568 plus 4, tell me. 568 plus 4, because the one block is of 4 byte. Okay, one block 4 byte. So 4 plus 4, just do the plus 4, it is 572. Plus 4, you will get 576. Plus 4, you will get 580. Plus 4, 584. Plus 4, 588. Plus 4, 590. Plus 4, 596. Plus 4, 600. Plus 4, 604. Getting? Okay. And
This value, it will take any random, sir. Starting, it started storing, no, sir. 388 something is there, no?
Any random value. If I rerun the program, the addresses are now different.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, because it is stored in your stack memory. Whatever the stack memory is there available, that address will be printed there.
So for character, it will differ by 1, right?
For character, it is different by 1. Yes.
Like float 8.
So its character variable, it is 90, 91, 92, 93, like that. If it is double, then
8.
68. 68 plus 8, 76. Plus 8, 84, like that. Get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then one more thing. If I'm printing here size of %d or simply integer length is equal to, I'm putting here size of operator, size of data. Okay, and I'm printing here alien. So output, the size of operator gives the how many bytes that variable has allocated. How many bytes? 10 bytes only.
Okay.
10 blocks are there. 10 blocks. One block is of size 4 byte.
4 byte, 40.
Total how many? 40 bytes. So alien should be 40. So alien is 40. Yes. So to get the actual amount of memory allocated by your array, use size of operator. Okay. And how many elements are present in that array? If you want to get that, then use the divided by size of int. Okay. So what is my size of data? 40. 40 divided by size of int 4. So what is length?
10.
Or instead of length, I am giving here size.
10.
So what is size here? If I don't know, what is my, okay. So if I don't know, this is invisible now. So it is declared in your any program, any other file. Then to get the size of that particular array, you can get here this formula, size of data divided by size of int, 10. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Suppose you have the one data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Okay. And suppose you want to pass this array to the function. So how to pass your array to the function? to pass the array to the function. Actually pass the array means you can pass one by one also. Okay, just like for integer I equal to 0, I less than or equal to 9, and I plus plus, and then you just call the display function and you are passing the data of I, and you just collect in one variable integer n, and you can print it here, printf %d /t and n. Okay, so we will get an answer. So 1 to 10. So in this way, actually you can pass any array element to the function. But here the drawback of this program is you are not passing the whole array. You are passing a individual element. Single element you are passing. So how many times display function you are calling? 10 times. Yes, you are calling that display function 10 times. So is it possible to pass the whole array to the function? Whole array I want to pass. So can I pass it? Yes, it is possible.
If for is inside display.
Okay, so how to pass it? Just very simple. Pass whole array by its name, display data. Okay, if you are passing the name, it means that the name of the array, you can see here. Okay, before this I can put here what is the name of my array. We'll see. %u comma data. Okay, if I'm using %d data of 0. Okay, %d data of 0. So what prints? It print 1.
1.
Okay. If I print %u and instead of data of 0, if I only print data here. So what is the data? Data is the array name. And what the array name? What is the array? Is it printed 1 to 10? Is it print 1 to 10?
No, sir.
It prints the starting address of your array. It prints the
Yes.
starting address of your array. So remember that what is your array name? The array name is nothing but the starting address of array. Very important. You can write this statement. Array name is the starting address of that array. So you can see here starting address of the array, and the now how you can print or say that it is starting address. Just use the both statement, and if both are same, just data you are printing and address of data of 0. Address of data of 0 means starting address. Okay, if both are same, it means that data is nothing but your starting address. Okay, you can see here both are same, 240 240. So it means that your data and address of data of 0 both are same here. Getting? So array name is nothing but the starting address of your array. So what I'm passing here, I'm passing the starting address. I want to pass through this method first. Address of data of 0. So what I'm passing, I'm not passing the single variable, I'm passing the starting address. And if I have the starting address, then I can access the whole array. Very simple, because it is stored in your consecutive memory location. If it is stored in consecutive memory location, then I can easily access it. So how to access? If your function is getting address, you should collect in your pointer. You should collect in the pointer. So this ARR is the pointer, which is pointing to this array, which is pointing to this array. So array is a pointer which is pointing to the data present in the main function. So ARR only contains address. Data also contains address. So data and ARR both the same thing. You can say that data means starting address. ARR also contains starting address. So it means that both are the same thing. So I can put here, instead of data, I can put here ARR of I, because data is not available here. In a display, actually, using the data is not available because data is local to the main function. But if I want to access the data in the display, I have the address of that data. Using that address, I can access it as an array. So if I run this program, yes, there should be star. Okay, you run the program and you will get an answer as 1, 2. The whole array will be printed there. So in this way, actually, we can pass the single dimensional array to the function. Just pass it by the starting address and you will get an answer. Okay, getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Instead of this, we can use this method also. So data and address of data of 0 both are same thing. We have proved it. You will get the same answer. Getting? So data, the array name is the starting address. This has been proved here. So instead of putting address of data of 0, just pass the data. Address will be passed. You are collecting the address in your ARR. So it means that ARR is the pointer which is pointing to this memory. It is pointing the first byte, first block of your data, that is data of 0. Then ARR of I means data of 0 you are using, because I is 0, so 1 get printed. Then I plus plus, then you are using data of 1. Data of 1 means you are accessing the next block. Next block will be accessed 2. Next block will be accessed as a 3. Next block will be accessed as a 4. So until that I is incremented, you are accessing the next block. Okay.
Sir, if there are two arrays in main function, then for which array it will point to?
If there are two arrays in your main function, it points to the which array you have passed it. So for data 1 and data 2, these are the two arrays present. Okay, data 1 and the data 2. So if you want to print data 1 array, just display data 1. Huh?
Okay, sir.
So can we display both the datas?
Yes, we can display the both data. What you need to do? You pass both. You need to modify the function.
Okay.
Same thing is repeat again. Yes, first and second. Okay, so whatever you want you can do, but the only thing is you should know the technique how to do. Okay, I will tell you how to do, and what to do you have to decide. So what I am telling you here, how you can pass your whole array to the function. Okay, so this is the technique. Just give your name of your array and just collect into the pointer, and here you can use that array as a simple one as you are using in your main function. Just difference is, in main function you are using data 1. Here in a display function you are using, instead of data 1 you are using array 1. Okay, its name is only changing, but the data is same. You are accessing the same variable. Okay, now this method is called as a pass by reference. It is called as a pass by reference. Okay, pass by reference means, here I am writing one change. Okay, so change function I'm writing here. So what the change function is doing, whatever the array you have assigned, its first index is always become 1000. And I'm modifying the display function here. Oh, it will only print the single one. Okay, and display data one. Okay, now see here what I have done. I have called the change function for the data one. So what the data one, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So this get passed here, and whatever the index first is only change. So what is index first? 2. So instead of 2 it changes to 1000, but as it is passed by reference, the actual memory get modified here. So instead of 2 it is 1000 gets stored here. If 1000 gets stored, if you want to prove it, just display that array. Display the array. If you are displaying the array, then you will get it is change. That particular change will change the original array itself. Change will change the original array only because I have used here the pass by reference. I have used the pass by reference. But suppose if I'm not using the pass by reference, if I'm using the pass by value. Now what is the meaning of pass by value here? The meaning of pass by value is you are passing the only variable that you want to pass. You are passing the value of that variable only. Now to pass the value of that variable, actually you are using this method. Data one of 1 you are passing. Okay, then what you are doing here, data one of 1 is stored into the ARR of 1. ARR of 1 is not an array now, it is a simple variable. Now what value you have received? 2 value, and you have done to the 1000. You again come back to here, display data, and now according to me, actually it will not change the content of your data one. Why? Because in this value, actually in this function call, you have not passed the address, you have passed the value of that particular variable. Only value get passed by value you are using. So whatever the changes is there, it is not affected to the original one. So just I need to change somewhat and just see the output. The output is 1 to 10 only. So though you are passing that variable data one of 1 to the change, it will not affect it. But if you are passing the address, then it will affect. If you are passing address, you are collecting it and you are using this one. So it will give the output here. Okay, so here it should be address. Control Z. It should be address. The data prototype should be modified. So you can see here, in case of pass by reference, actually you are not passing here value, you are passing the address. If you are passing the address, you are collecting into the pointer, and whatever it is pointing to, that is changed to 1000. So instead of 2, now 1000 will be stored. And when you calling the display function, then when you calling the display function, its modified version of your array will get printed. Yes, getting?
Sir, it's okay to give just change data one, no sir?
It's okay to give the change
Data one, that's all. No AND operator and 1. Array of 1.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
In this case, actually, you are using here What you are using? Pass by value. You have to
Value.
say
Oh, sir.
value.
Only data one.
If you are using only data one, then what happen here? Address will be passed. Yeah, address will be passed. You're passing the address. So ARR1 is pointing to the first location, first block of your memory. First block of memory is data of 0. So if you are using value at ARR1 of 1000, which get modified? This one. This get modified. Getting?
Okay, sir.
So whatever the address is, suppose you want to change this one. You want to change this one. So just pass its address. So it is, I think, 8. This one get modified. So the data that to be changed, pass the address to the change variable, change function.
Sir, if we give only data, no sir, it is not accessing the address, no sir, at that time. How it will change?
If you are only giving the data, okay, then what is the data one? What do you mean by data one? Data one means
Complete.
not complete. Data one means starting address of your array. It is not complete array.
Okay, sir.
It is starting address. So you are passing starting address. So what is starting address? Starting address means the address of data of 1 of 0.
Okay, sir.
And you are modifying the data 1 of 0 here. So data 1 of 0 will be modified.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, so just try this program what we are, just go for the do you have that books? Let us see by Kanetkar.
No, sir. If you can send link, you told there's e-textbook link.
Yes. I will send you the link. Okay. Or otherwise, actually, you can go to the internet again and W3 schools, I think, or tutorials, Java tutorials. In the Java tutorials website, actually, there are C tutorials also there, and there read the array. But if you have the book with let us see latest book, then it is very actually it is very good explain array in that book. Okay, so what we'll see tomorrow? Tomorrow we'll see the pointers arithmetic. Pointer arithmetic is the point. Then after that we'll see again revisit the array. Then we'll start with the 2-dimensional array.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so your assignment I will send you on your WhatsApp group. Just try that assignment. Very simple assignments.
Share this program, sir.
Just copy paste.
Yes.
Yes.